This is the Horror Movie Project Podcast. Where we discuss horror films such as the Blair Witch Project. We're going to do the whole shebang today. We're going to do all of them, all three, just for you guys. My other host here is Dan from Reject Filmz. He is also on YouTube, so make sure you check him out on YouTube. He's got some really cool stuff, like horror collection type things and movies and whatever else. Make sure you look at his stuff. And we have a new host today. His name is Bo, and he'll be joining us today. And this is a crazy horror collector, Dead Michael. And I also have a YouTube, so definitely check that out. If you want to see my horror collection, I have lots of stuff as well. So, if this isn't enough for you, go check that out. It keeps you entertained. That's what we're here to do. Make you guys happy. So yeah, we're going to go to the beginning film all the way to the newest one out today that was just released not long ago. This is our second episode. We're going to be doing spoilers.
I'm Dan from Reject Filmz. Hi, I'm Bo. Good.
And, yeah, I'm a crazy horror collector, Dead Michael. So you guys know our voices. Alright, let's talk about, the Blair Witch Project.
The search of the three missing Montgomery College students continues in Frederick County tonight.
10 days and thousands of man-hours have been unable to produce any clues.
We have a few leads, a few other options we want to take advantage of, and just try to put together some pieces to this puzzle.
Do you believe the occult may be involved in the disappearance of your son?
I'm so scared. 1999. An hour and 45 minutes.
Painful. Hour and 45 minutes.
It was pretty freaking painful.
I wasn't that bad. I'm going to be the one that's actually favoring the first one. But I have my reasons. It is a hard watch whenever you try to watch it again. But whenever it first came out, I really liked it just because they had like a whole, it created the genre of the lost footage, and I was still young whenever it came out, and I believed it all before I actually saw it and realized it was fake, but it had built up the hype so much that whenever you went into it, you thought it was a real experience, that it happened.
Yeah, I believed into it too when I was a kid in school because people would tell you the stories. You're like, oh, and then they'd add to it with their own versions, each kid you talk to. But I kind of believed in the legend of it actually being real. Like, they would go on and on. Like, I wasn't old enough to see it because that was back when horror was ours. So. But yeah.
I had the books on it, and actually I begged my parents to take me to see it. So I got to see it in theaters while it was playing.
Was that the Dead File books, like the Blair Witch Dead Files or something like that? There's like
yeah, I had 3 or 4 different ones, like the back history of it. It went into deep detail. I wish I could dig it out of my parents' attic, but it went into real detail about like the history of the Blair Witch, and that's why I was actually believing it was real, because there was this book telling me, hey, this is what happened, and now we don't know what happened to these kids. They're gone. So I was actually believing it to be real.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with both of you guys on, watching it when it first came out, thinking that it was real and everything. Just watching it nowadays after, all the found footage movies out now. It's kind of not as shocking or not as much going on.
Yeah, because
you see nowadays.
the budget was like $60,000, right? They predicted, there's really no way of us really knowing, but that's what it's pulled up, and they did really well for how much they spent, and that's why they came out with that sequel, pretty much. get the hype from this one and then make another one. But yeah, they had two other documentaries. They had like Sticks and Stones and The Curse of the Blair Witch. And those documentaries pretty much try to make you believe this story was legit. Like, they try to sell you, like, those weren't actors, those are real people. Like, in those two documentaries, that's like what it keeps trying to make you go watch it. And then it shows you extra footage from this film. So you get to see all the extras from this film that they didn't use in the film in those two, which is actually a lot more painful because they're worse than the movie itself. But I watched one of them and I couldn't watch the other one. I watched Sticks and Stones. They're like Blockbuster exclusives or something. I don't know. They're not good. So don't even bother with those.
And didn't they keep like the actors hidden off camera until the movie is out for a good while so everybody would actually buy into it too? I think that was something that they didn't want them going on camera doing interviews. They wanted to be thought that they were really missing.
Yeah.
These unknown people.
Yeah. There's something with it. Like, I don't know, like they told like the actors too, I think like they would tell the one that they were going to obviously take him out and then the other ones, yeah, I don't think they had any clue. Like, I think they just kind of threw him in the woods there and filmed stuff. So.
It wouldn't have been so bad if the main actress wouldn't have been so annoying.
Yeah.
It just, man, she really got to me watching it this time. I hadn't seen it since it first came out. And just watching it this time, it's just like, shut the hell up. I don't know. And plus, it made you want a cigarette the whole time. They were always like smoking or talking about smoking. But other than that, the other two guys were actually pretty decent, though.
Yeah, the Heather, that was her name. The Heather chick, right. Like the close up where snot's coming out and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. But it did lead off into the whole genre of the lost film. Have you guys ever seen the Poughkeepsie tapes?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's good.
Yeah, that one I liked. They had it on Netflix for a while, I think. But that was a really creepy one. And they did that lost footage idea.
Yeah. They, I don't know, I think they were supposed to make, like, an actual, like, physical copy for that, but I don't know. They never really did. They were supposed to, but it never came out or something. I don't know. I don't know much about it. But that's just what I've heard from people. But yeah, the director, it's like Daniel. It's Daniel something. It's I might have butchered his last name. It's unless you guys can say it better than me. Marick or something is what I kind of got. And then
what did he go on to do?
I don't really know. Probably make more of these. Yeah. And there's another guy next to the name, but I can't pronounce his name either, so.
So, given watching it nowadays, what would you guys rate this movie at nowadays?
I was thinking I'd give it a 4 now. When I watched it, when I was, like, the first time I saw it, I would probably give it a higher rating, but I think for rewatch, it's probably not but I mean, I watched it, like, I don't know, 7 years ago, a long time ago, so.
Yeah, I had to stick with that 4 too. I mean, for it creating everything, and like I said, believing it and going in whenever I saw it in theaters, I kind of put myself into it. I'd give it a little more, but if it would just come out today, a 4.
I'd be right there with you guys on that. I give him a 10 for, the hype and the, publicity of it for back then. But for watching it nowadays, yeah, I think we're all in that agreement.
Yeah, it's pretty much running around in the woods with 3 different people, getting picked off one by one kind of scenario.
It gets real dizzy after a while because the camera is just so shaky.
You got the black and white one, and you got the color one switching back and forth.
Yeah.
So, part 2, Book of Shadows.
Everything you've heard. Forget everything you've seen. Because this time, the truth is scarier than fiction.
A group murder in the Black Hills discovered today. In the past year, the Black Hills area has been overrun with movie fans wanting to get a glimpse of where the Blair Witch Project was filmed.
I'm not going to lie, that's a guilty pleasure of mine for some reason or another. But
is it because of Jeffrey Donovan?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Michael Weston.
Yeah. Yep. Burn Notice. That was my. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I liked it even before I knew who he was from Burn Notice, just because it was like, a lot of movies came out at that time that were in the same style, shot the same way. Just cheesy, fun, disposable horror flicks. I mean, it could have been a little better with a little more nudity, but other than that, yeah. I mean, it was a real movie this time, so it was a little bit better.
Yeah, I did like how they took it into where they played off people believing it was real, to where people were growing up there and trying to go in the city and all that, and continue with the whole people are buying into this and doing ghost tours or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, because, they did kind of the same. They ran around, and they were selling T-shirts, you had the locals, it was like a tourist attraction. Yeah, a tourist attraction for their website. That lady was selling rocks. She's like, they cost too much to ship. I remember that. I don't know, the whole town was, so I guess they were starting to get kind of some wealth from it, their legend, for what the movie was trying to hype it up, and that one guy had his own business. Pretty much all he sold was his own little factory, his house at that factory he lived at of merchandise.
House he bought for
$1. Yep, and then he was the tour guide pretty much, and then you had that second tour group with the foreigners that went with them. They bumped into each other, and then yep. I like.
It does go to. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's
it
all
does
good.
go to show you the influence of movies, though. How far they can really reach people, though. That's not too far-fetched in real life.
Yeah.
It happens a lot, like the Lord of the Rings, Avatar, where they did that. It became like a big thing for people to go and have, whoever was inspired, they'd have weddings there, and they do all that. And I know, Game of Thrones, people tour those areas and stuff, so people always do seek out the actual real-life land of a movie or TV show.
Yeah. This is true. People will go around and look at the stuff. So we should. The cast, pretty much what I put for this one. The other one obviously is the girl and the two guys, and then you had the Blair Witch guy that was like that tour group guy that sold it all. I don't remember his name. If you guys know what it is, feel free to throw it in. And then I just put the goth chick, which she just wore all black. I don't really, whatever. That girl, which was cool. I don't know. And then you had the two writers. They're trying to make a book. And then the one witch chick. And yeah, I think that was.
No, they all went by their real names again in this one.
Oh, did they?
The first one too. Yeah, so Jeffrey Donovan was Jeffrey, the main guy.
Yeah.
I don't remember the rest of the names though.
I know the blonde that they hung was Tristan.
Oh, the pregnant girl or whatever?
Yeah. And she had a part in there I really liked before they hung her, and she kind of just snapped from being scared like crazy, you're all gonna die. I did like that part.
Yeah, that was cool. Because
the whole movie had a pretty good concept.
Yeah.
It just didn't quite deliver with his mental breakdowns and stuff like that. Showing back scenes of being in a psych ward.
Yeah.
They could have just done more with it.
I seem to remember when it came out, it was on VHS, but after the credits, they had it to where they played the movie in reverse, so you could see everything that happened as it should have.
I think there might be something like that on the DVD. I have the DVD still. And, comes with the soundtrack and all that. So
yeah, the soundtrack's actually. Yeah, you got Godhead on there, which I like. That's a good song.
Start out with Manson, so
they're
very opening credits. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
You can tell they got a little bit bigger of a budget on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get why it got, I mean, the hate that it, like, I mean, for IMDb, I think it gave it, like, a 4, which I think is just kind of low. And same with Rotten Tomatoes, it was 13%, and then the audience gave it 18%, so I don't know why people were, like, you know, going at it like that, because I don't think it was that bad of a movie.
I think it's because it wasn't shot in the same vein. It wasn't the lost footage. It was a completely different version of what people were expecting when they went into it.
Yeah. I mean, like, pretty much they were doing, they're just analyzing. I mean, they went in the woods there as a tour guide that night. They blacked out. They know what was going on. You know, they've all decided to group back at the tour guide's factory house because they were confused to why all this stuff was ripped up and bloody and whatever else. You know, they're like, I don't know what's going on. We're on, like, a drug or whatever. And they go back there. They analyze the footage, and it gets weirder and weirder each time, like, each video they kind of look at, they start to remember whatnot, like, kind of, and, it's pretty much in the interrogation room most of the movie, too, isn't it? Like, from what I remember, they're all trying to...
The second part of it, like the
Yeah.
act basically was. It's where they start seeing the actual footage of them really committing the crimes and everything, and
Yeah.
seeing that they were the ones being evil, and the pregnant girl, Tristan, she was all scared and stuff.
And all the acting I thought was pretty good in this too, except for her boyfriend or whatever. I think he was the only kind of weak actor in it, along with the cop and Terry.
Yeah.
I think all the girls did good, you know, acting wise and everything.
The cop chick, I like the whole gas station or convenience store scene when she went in
Oh.
there talking back towards the kids and everything.
Yeah. And then you see the playback of what really happened to that. Kind of messed up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it has, like, I don't know, it's weird because it kind of shifts back to reality, like, when it happens, and then the car is all smashed up, and then he's like, what'd you do to my car? I don't know.
So what's your guys' final thoughts on this as far as rating-wise?
I would give it, I don't know, there's 3 kills in this movie, and I don't know, I liked it, I gave it 6.5.
If I had to rate it right after the original, I'd give it like a 3. I didn't care for it back then because I was one of the people that was let down. Rewatching it, especially with having gone through the entire Burn Notice series and like a different down of it, I'd give it a 5.
And same as you, you know, I watched the whole Burn Notice series and being a big fan of his, but I got to go with a 6 just for disposable entertainment value. I mean, it's not anything that I hate. You know, if it's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah. I don't know, it's crazy, too, how much merchandise, like, both these movies pulled. I mean, they had, like... I mean, did you guys get that in your DVDs where it tried to sell you stuff?
I still got the booklet in there.
Yeah, it's like hats, t-shirts, you know, they even had a video game. They're like, send for your copy of the PC game. You can play, there's 2 of them, and it's like crazy. It's like, wow. Yeah.
Just imagine that nowadays, though, you know, that would have been the first of its kind nowadays with all the mobile devices.
Yeah.
I would have really profited off that.
Yep.
So on to the new Blair Witch, 2016.
Who could have done this? You did this!
Oh my god!
This one, I mean, I kind of like the fact that it went back to the lost footage and did that. It was more of a continuation off of the original one.
Yeah.
The relatives of the characters and everything.
They kind of just pretend the second film never happened, and this was, like, right after, like, in a sense, like, it would be current day because They found that video. Yeah, that video that they got from Darknet, right, was what started the whole thing for his sister, because that was, or the girl in the first one was his sister, and he wanted to find her because he believed she was like out in the wilderness still. That's what the whole quest was about.
Yeah, it's supposed to be what, 2014 in this one? Is that when?
Yeah, somewhere around modern day, kind of like.
So he's thinking after what, 10 years, she's still out there.
Yep.
It's kind of far fetched, but
yeah, she's
it's
living.
not the first movie to go back to the original after there being a few out in between. I mean, we've seen that before with other franchises as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, his name was, that guy he meets up with, that YouTuber, or whatever he saw the video on, because he drags two friends with him, the main character with, it's not even his girlfriend, it's just some girl, isn't it, like a friend or something, because she ends up jumping his tent with him and stuff, but they're not, like, I think it's just one of his friends, what I remember, I don't know, but they go to Darknet, and it's the couple, which there's more to them, like, than what you think, really. But yeah, they say they have to tag along with them if they're going to show them where they found the videotape at. And then they have two different cameras with this one too, because they have his, but I don't think they really give you camera angles on his old video camera, because it's like pretty much the one they use in the first film. It's just a VHS like camera, isn't it? Like the old school one.
Yeah, I think it was like a DV camera. Because the one guy was using one as well to kind of like go back to what they were using or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the drone usage. I kind of wish they would have done a little bit more with it.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that they incorporated that in there, where you can get the whole forest area and everything.
I mean, all in all, it was almost a remake over a sequel. I mean, with a lot of newer stuff added into it. I mean, nowadays type stuff.
They're trying to like do pretty much the Blair Witch modern day kind of, but you saw more and it was, I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And you had more people, which was good. Like after I saw them,
shot different.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Quality.
Yeah, I like that better. And I like.
I couldn't tell if I couldn't tell if it was at certain times, especially in the beginning of it, if it was supposed to be glitchy at certain points or not because of what I was watching it on. But it kind of threw me off here and there when they were, because they compiled footage from a bunch of different tapes, so it kind of cut back and forth and all that kind of threw me off there at the beginning of it.
Yeah, so there was like 6 people total, right, with that went out there in the woods.
Yeah, the 4 original and the 2 tag-alongs from the website.
Yeah. And then the 2 tag-alongs were saying how the legends and everything were real, and then they ended up faking some of it. And, then they're like, get out of here. They're like done with them, pretty much. So then they kind of go their separate ways.
Yeah, and then they come back and they go, how long has it been for you? It's been 2 weeks for us. I kind of like that the whole, it lasted a lot longer for them being away from them.
Yeah, that was one thing I was definitely going to bring up was the
time lapse.
The time lapse. And, we kind of had that, going back to the second one where you kind of had that in there too where they lost track of time. Really focused a lot more on it, on this new one. Especially towards the ending of the film, you can definitely tell it had been a really long time.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys ever see this? I was trying to pull up the info on the movies, A Blair Witch Tale.
No, I haven't seen it.
They did in 2008. They did a 40-minute short movie of it. It's 14 years after, and it's basically like a mini movie of like a continuation of it.
Like a fan-made movie?
It looks like the original director had a hand in it.
Huh.
it's under his credits, I think, but you look at the director, it's not him in it.
Yeah, was this
the writer of it?
Was it the same director in all of them, or was it? I think it got like, didn't someone else get the rights of it, or was it the same people?
Yeah, the new one I don't think had the Merrick in it.
Yeah, so I thought different. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Like somebody else took it over.
Yeah, probably the studio just trying to bring it back again.
I will say the new one is the only one of the three where it did have a couple genuinely scary moments in it. You know,
Yeah,
like
I did jump
you're
once.
sitting there in the dark watching it by yourself. You know, part with what's the name, Peter?
Yep.
Where he's out in the woods by himself. You know, that had some intense scenes to it. You know, none of the other two really had that.
No, they were just kind of fun. Like the second one more so than the first, but yeah, they're more just like a watch along one where you didn't really get scared so much. It's just more, oh, I'm gonna pop this in. This one actually kind of got you a little bit. I don't know. Mess with.
I had the, hey, I'm gonna walk out into the woods.
Yeah.
Really far to go to the bathroom or to go get firewood by myself. You still had that cliche.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one of the reasons why the first one did mess with me. Is like whenever I watched it, I was where I lived. I always took walks out in the forest by myself, and I'd go out for about 2-3 hours. And I was thinking that every time I go out and be out there by myself looking at stuff, because there'd be old cars out in the middle of the woods. Just no idea how they got there, and always that was always in the back of my mind whenever I was out there by myself.
It can definitely be a scary place by yourself, especially at night.
Yeah, I've actually seen that too, where you see cars in the middle of the woods. I've seen that as well. Like my parents' house, when I've been over there, it's weird. Like there's like farmland in some areas, and then there's random cars. It's like, why didn't these people like, I don't know, scrap them or whatever if they were useless? I don't know. It's just weird. Like it's just out of place.
But this one, the only thing I really took too much issue with, I didn't like the witch with the long arms and everything. I understood why they did it because she was stretched out or whatever, but I didn't care for that. I'd rather it be like an actual person or something.
I like that you actually got to see her this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like her true form, like, because I think the second one you saw her too, but it was more like, it wasn't even scary. It was just like, you know, a woman in like a nightgown kind of. Wasn't that supposed to be her, or who was that? Just like
I think it was like a little blur of what was supposed to be her.
Oh, okay.
Anything as clear as the new one.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it was kind of like a black overcoatish type thing or something. Yeah, it wasn't very well done. In the second one, I liked the way she looked. I mean, she was supposed to be stretched out in that makeshift rack and everything. I mean, it's kind of looked like you see a lot of nowadays. But, I mean, it wasn't necessarily anything original, but it did fit what she was supposed to look like.
Yeah, and then she'd always make like a sound, and then didn't she like repeat their voices and stuff like that? Kind of. I think she.
Right. Yeah.
Trick them.
Definitely something new.
Yeah.
They did.
But it was weird too, because when they got to the house, and it was pretty much they just went back to the original locations where they shot that first one at. They just went back in that same house. At first, I was like, "Oh, this ain't the same house," and then you started to see like the similar stuff. So.
The house with 1,000 doors.
Yeah. The basement, too. I didn't realize how big it was. It was freaking huge.
And then underneath the basement as well.
Yeah. Yep, we're...
If you're claustrophobic, then that kind of gets you there.
So what do you guys think of the Darknet group? Do you think that the Blair Witch pretty much had them as her, like, pawns, and they would go grab people for her? Because, obviously, there's more to them. Like, I don't know what was their deal. Like, if, you know...
Saying, is she controlling the...
Yeah, like, brought them to get more people for her.
Like House on Haunted Hill, where the computer makes the guest list.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they were kind of like people just brought her people to, you know, eat or whatever she did with them. I don't know.
Maybe they went out there and that was part of their agreement to get out and get away.
Yeah.
Bring people back.
Because what's his name is all muddied up in that It's kind of when I jumped was when she went down to the basement and he like grabbed. You know, you just didn't expect it. Like that guy was gonna be down there.
Something I didn't even really think about.
Yeah, but I also thought too, like when they were in the attic at the end of the movie, like did you guys notice like it sounded like a spaceship or something taking off, like where all those lights came through? It sounded like a friggin' like something, like an engine blasting up or something. Like it just didn't. I was like, what was that? And then it doesn't. Yeah, it did for sure. Like something was taking off from the ground and going up. You were like, what? So you're wondering, like, is the Blair Witch an alien? Like, that's why I started to, like, wonder. But then I was like, I don't know what that was supposed to mean.
Or is it just some kind of energy?
Yeah. Didn't really explain it. I was confused by that.
Well, we are in the era of leaving movies open-ended.
Yeah.
Quite often.
And you're not supposed to look at her, too. And the one girl does it with the camera, which you would think would, I don't know, would still be looking at her, but I guess not. I guess not directly, but...
No, they didn't bring that up in the first one, did they?
No, I don't think they did. You can look at her.
That's what they're trying to explain. That's why they're in the corner. But I didn't know if they ever brought up something that you couldn't look at her.
Yeah.
Caught it.
She couldn't do anything if you didn't look at her.
Yeah.
And it never really tells you why that is, though. You know,
I first thought...
she's gonna take it.
Right? Yeah, well, the first one I thought it was something to do with that. Like, they show that one investigation with that guy, like, that murdered those people and made him stare at the wall or whatever. That's why I kind of thought it was, like, something to do with that, and then it had really nothing to do with that, so I was confused by it, really. Like, when they're staring at the wall because they're going to be the next one to be killed or whatever. Do you guys know what I'm talking about with the first one? Like, with the...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, around the basement.
It should have connected with that somehow.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was originally, and then it had something to do with the witch, not him. So I thought there was maybe multiple different spirits at work, but like I thought it might have been like, I don't know, more than just one. But it was cool. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you brought up the whole how much it cost to make the first one. Did you read how much they grossed on it?
You can go ahead if it was a lot from what I remember. It was like
it was $140 million.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they grossed off of 60,000. So I mean, like it or not, that was can't really beat that.
Yeah.
That's not anything like off the sales of the merchandise they got too. So
that's why they were trying to get every penny they could. Like, I mean, that's probably why they just kept, like, oh, this is. I mean, that's why they made the second one too, because it's like, this is great. The money was flowing good.
It has the audience built in. It's obvious you're gonna make money back, but I guess rights referred back to the studios why they made the third one. They're gonna try to reboot it.
Yeah. Yeah,
except think there'll be another one.
There might be. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I don't know how much. Yeah, I'm not sure what they made on this one or the budget on it.
They only grossed $20 million. They made it for 10, so didn't have nearly. Oh wait, no, they spent $5 million. They made 20, and it still made
not nearly as much profit as the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't read what the second one was either because I forgot how much they spent on that one too. But
yeah, I'm sure it was quite a bit. I mean, that was when CG was first really coming around a lot. You could tell how bad the CG was in it.
Yeah.
The little girl scenes and stuff, But I know it was pretty expensive to use that back then.
Shoot. Okay, so the budget for the second one was $15 million, and they grossed 26.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably why they didn't make another one after that for a long time.
Well, I mean, going to the gross of the recent one, you have less, theater sales these days too. So you're not going to get what you would have gotten before streaming and all that became available.
Oh, I'm guilty of it. I only bought some movies that I really, really want to see, and other than that, I just wait for a good copy or buy it on iTunes.
You wait a month and it's on video, so
Yeah.
it's not like it was back then.
Yeah.
So what's your guys' final score on the new one here?
Well, I'll read off IMDb real quick and Tomatoes so you guys get kind of an idea. They had 5.1, and Rotten Tomatoes had 36%. Audience had 32%. I would actually probably give it. It was hard because I kind of was thinking 6.5 with this one. But then again, it did scare me, so I was going to give it a 7, like a little bit extra, just because I liked it more than the other ones, just by a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with it about 5.56 too, because it was more current, and I like the quality of it a little better. And like you said, it does have good scare moments into it. I still like the original better, but if I had to watch both of them fresh now, I'd probably like this one a lot more than the first one.
Yeah.
I'm right in there with you guys about a 6 on it. Like you say, the quality definitely a lot better. Especially the sound. I thought the sound was amazing. I mean, that's what really got you in the scary scenes. Even the jump scares I had in there.
Yeah. For sure.
Just for creativity, there was a few things in there, like you guys mentioned with the drone and everything, that you don't really see too much of. And I think a 6 is pretty good for me, since I'm not really a found footage type person. But I did, it was enjoyed.
Yep.
I know I'm gonna have to go download that short story though. The short movie. I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah.
See what that one looks like.
Especially if the original guy that was making all the other ones made that one.
Yeah, it says he's the writer on it. He doesn't have director credit, but he has writer credit on it.
Did they all use their real names? If you want to look up.
Yeah, I didn't look that up either.
I believe they were all pretty unknown ones too.
No, they did. Not James did. Other than that, no, they all used different names.
See, they kind of messed up there.
Yeah, they went off page on it.
Just at least something for the fans to appreciate.
Yeah, even the short story one. The short story has all the same thing too. And it uses archive footage of the original one.
Because there's still loyal fans to these movies that want to see something kept, the way it was from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna
wrap it up, yeah. It's actually shorter than what we normally, because, yeah.
Yeah, they don't really do too much to talk about in these whole lost footage thing, especially this one. They get lost in the woods for almost most of the movie, and then at the very end, of the first one, you get some kind of action. I don't know, that's mostly folklore and storytelling on it.
Yeah. Pretty much. I know that they also, I believe they also made toys off the franchise. Like they had Movie Maniacs, like the Spawn figure. People made them of the Blair Witch. You could actually buy toys of her, but it doesn't look it doesn't look anything like the new one. Like it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember it was like a Movie Maniacs.
Yeah.
Or something of Blair Witch. That's the only one I've seen though.
Yeah, I think there's actually 2 versions of it. It's weird, and then they have other ones too, but it's just figures of. I don't know. They're kind of like Lego toys or something. They're not really your normal figures or anything, but it's just of the campers. And then you get the stick thing, the Blair Witch classic icon thing with it or whatever. I don't know if it's a necklace or what. But yeah.
I mean, I would like to see a really well done, well directed, not found footage style movie done, that's real dark and everything like the second one should have been.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. Sticking to that story and explaining more of what we had talked about, with looking at her and doing all that kind of stuff.
The second one did too. It seemed like it would go back and forth with found footage, and then it would just go back to normal camera angles. Wasn't that kind of what it did? Or...
I mean, it did to an extent.
Yeah.
Pretty much when they were looking at the footage.
So yeah.
I think it's onto the first movie, The Heather Girl. Oh, this got her into Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Did an episode of that.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any of their names now.
Yeah. I know they came, the original group of the three people, they were at the first Days of the Dead I went to. They were there. Yeah. They were at it.
I went to the second.
It was weird because I think they even had a panel, and I don't know how much their autographs were because I didn't even check, but I didn't even, I didn't care, so I didn't even go see them. But at the time period, because, I don't know, just didn't, I was after different people, so I was like, I'm not going to pay for that. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Next month we're going to be doing Valentine and the two Bloody Valentines, right? And the remake and the original, right?
The original.
Yeah.
Yep. Valentine's Day special. All right.
For sure.
Well, the weekend before, something like that.
So stay tuned for that, guys. We will bring you another episode next month in February. See you guys next time.